What is up, everyone? This is SwordKing090, and this is going to be Operation Bedrock number 186 episode of the Operation Bedrock series. A series where my friends and I are looking behind the entire world until there's nothing but bedrock left, except for the floor, of course, because we need something flat to walk on. And we got a lot of torches, so that's going to help us out in getting rid of the mobs. But good thing that we're on peaceful mode, because I need to get some leaderboard rankings out of peaceful mode, and once that's happening, then I'll just remain in peaceful mode. I'll go to hard mode if I want to go get for the skulls and get more experience and get more enchantments, but peaceful mode is where we're going to do all our mining from now on. Since that going on easy and above, I don't need those rankings anymore. So let's move on, and this is going to be the final video. Well, not at the end of the series, don't fear about that, but the final video on the drama that has happened at work. And the reason why I want to talk more about this is that I could actually finally move on, because otherwise it's still going to be keeping bothering me all that much and all further things, and nobody wants to keep hearing that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So I'm going to go ahead and say this final video of the whole matter, and then I'll just move on from here. What's done is done. The manager no longer works at the store, and now that if I want to go for another job, I'll be able to do so. And knowing that the manager is not going to mistreat anybody else there any longer, then that's pretty much all well said and done. So, one of the comments I wanted to highlight that I completely forgot to actually bring up in Operation Dome, which I'll bring it up here, was that there's a comment by Bobby Johnson. He hasn't responded to me since, so either that he thought I was right or just didn't want to press the issue further. I don't blame him for the comment. I'm not attacking him for the comment. It was a legitimate comment that it has been brought up. So here's a comment. He was joking, shaking my head. He didn't mean it maliciously. So in my response, here's a response. So that was an argument that was brought up. Unless you have worked in the same environment, you would not know the intention of said words. Even then, as a manager, you never belittle your employees, especially directly in front of a new employee. That tone of voice that accompanied those words, well, let me see here, I'm trying to do two things at once. You know what, I should actually just stop, otherwise I'm just going to get myself lost. Okay, so here we are, okay. So, where was I at? Yeah, that tone of voice that were accompanied those words never sounded like a joke, nor was a manager known for making jokes in the workplace of that nature. Even if it was a joke, you would think that the manager would keep that position as a manager instead of leaving, quote unquote, or talk to me after the owner had a talk with the manager, as I said before. So I would have wanted the manager, as I said before, I would have wanted the manager to know that it was not okay. But there were other employees who were mistreated by the manager. I know uploading this video will bring speculation without knowing every little detail that built up to that point of how I reacted. My main point I am bringing across is that people should not have to be mistreated in a workplace. I am grateful that I had support from my coworkers and my family on this, because they know what goes on as well. The co-workers were in fear just as I was, but the owner assured us that we could talk to him if there were any problems, or if there was ever a problem. And now I gotta put those 2 gold ores back because I accidentally mined it without knowing. There we go. So, yeah, that was the thing. That was a major argument that has been brought up. Like, maybe the manager was joking, but even if it was a joke, you never would actually thought that a manager would say that to a new employee. And when she said it, when the manager said it, it did not sound like a joke. It honestly did not sound like a joke. So, yeah, a lot of people may bring up that why did I talk to the manager directly? Because I thought that nothing would actually be done if I were to talk to the manager. Honestly, like, it's been going on for so long that it just didn't seem like it would ever change. And especially how other employees were actually being mistreated. Again, I cannot bring what exactly has happened because it is not my place to say. That is for the ex-employees. Yeah, that's right. The ex-employees themselves to bring that up. So, yeah. It's just a big old mess that's been accumulating over the time that I've been at the workplace. And I've worked there for over 4 years. So that alone just says a lot if you were a person that worked there for 4 years and still don't get any respect from the manager. So it just brought me to my breaking point. I broke down a few times. that I bottled it up for so long, and then it finally just burst. So this is why I had my breakdowns, because I've worked there for so long. I do so much. I dedicate so much time. I never say no. I do the best I can. I always do the best I can. I let them know what's going on at all times, and I pretty much did my position as a quote-unquote manager. I don't have the position, or I don't have the title of a manager, but as a shift supervisor, you're pretty much yeah, it's pretty much like being a manager. I don't know how to word it correctly, honestly. I don't want to say pseudo, because when I looked up the word pseudo, it means fake or false or something like that. That it just didn't bring well. I probably said that before, that I was a pseudo manager, but then it would be like I'm calling myself a fake manager. But I was pretty much like a manager. All I didn't do is that I didn't actually order parts, or I didn't order inventory for the store. I didn't handle the paychecks. I didn't handle the payrolls, the direct deposits, or I just didn't handle the scheduling of all the other employees. That was a manager and an assistant manager's job. All I did was just manage the store whenever that the managers, the titled managers, were not there. So I pretty much gave orders to the co-workers of what to do, what to clean, as well as that I balanced the registers. I put all the money in the deposits. I put all the money in the safe and things like that. I handle a lot of things that regular employees would not be able to do, nor would actually be trusted to do. Because when you're a shift supervisor, you have that trust. You have that extra level of trust that the managers know that you're not going to mess up what's going on at the store. When I have that level of trust, and yet I'm still being mistreated, that's just makes me question why in the world was I even working for them if this is how they're going to keep treating me. So that was one of the things that really led me to break down things like that, because I did not know what to do. I honestly did not know what to do. I had no idea. I was like backed up into a corner, and I just did not know who to talk to or where to turn to. I talked to all of my other employees because they already know the situation and they already know what to say. So this is why I brought it up with the owner, because I did not trust the manager. That's what it was. I did not trust the manager anymore. I didn't have that same level of respect to the manager, so I just completely and utterly distrust him. So that was just one of those major things that's honestly quite scary to me, that the person who has hired me is the same person that I don't trust anymore. And at that aspect, you can understand why I feared that job, or I feared losing my job, because the same person who has hired me could be the same person that fired me. And again, I was just stuck in that corner where I just couldn't really bring myself to just confront the manager about this. So I let it happen. I could have walked out. Everybody that heard my situation told me that I could have just walked out. But the reason why I didn't is because I had all the other co-workers that needed me, that it was getting a little bit busy. It was getting a little bit more hectic as more customers came by. It would have been more of a slap to the face to the co-workers more than to the manager if I would have actually left. So, or left that instant where I was disrespected. And then if I would have brought that up to the owner, then it would have looked bad on me because I actually left. I would have every reason to leave, but then I would have had less support. I would have had less support because since I stood by and took it and still worked, that just shows to the owner that even though this has happened, I did not give up on my employees. I did not walk out on my coworkers. I did my best and I continued on throughout the day, even though that emotionally and psychologically I was broken. So I had more support on my end. So I was really very happy that I'm actually quite glad. I would say humble. I should say humble. I'm more humble that I've actually went through this experience, because had I not, I would have no idea how to deal with it if it kept going. I would have no idea how to handle this situation if I were to leave this job and work somewhere else, and if it happened to me on that aspect. Because I would have been a brand new employee that has no record of the new workplace. The owner would have not known me. The other managers would have not known me. The other coworkers would have known me. I would have not gotten that much experience, and I would have not gotten that good working relationship with all the other employees of that new job if I was being mistreated just because I was new. But since I've already established a good working relationship on the first job, pretty much it is my first job. It was my first and only job that I've ever gone in my life, and it's what broke me. Isn't that fun? But that first job, the first and only job I've ever gone that completely broke me, I have had that work experience. I have had the working experience with all my coworkers, the good relationships, and all that other good stuff. I had support, and I had evidence, and I had more of a reputation that this is how I am at work, that I'm a good worker, and I'm being mistreated, so something has to be done. So in that aspect, I'm glad that I stayed there as long as I did. Because if it would have happened to me in the first few months, yes, I probably would have probably had some support, but not as much support as I would have had if I worked there for all those 4 years. Do you understand what I'm saying? Please tell me that you do. I just don't know how to word things correctly. That's just how I feel. Honestly, that's how I feel. Because people would support somebody who has been working at a place for 3 years and being mistreated more than a newly employee that's only been there for a few months and being mistreated. It's just that sort of level of experience that helps support and helps back up the claims that another employee has been saying. That's just how I think about it. Honestly, that's how I think about it. But just don't twist the words thinking that any new employee who's getting mistreated does not have a voice. Nobody has the right to mistreat you, and nobody has that right to belittle you or to humiliate you or anything that has to interfere with your workplace and make a hostile environment. So this is pretty much why I stayed, where I got more experience out of it as a shift supervisor, as a person, as a human being. So it's just one of those reality checks. It sucks. It honestly sucks to have experienced all that. But I'm humble and I'm glad that I experienced it, because now that if I were to go for a different job, then I know what to do in that situation. And if it costs me my job to actually report to higher ups, then that just proves that that place was not right for anybody. Is that an arrow? Somebody made an arrow. Okay, that is just, or is that a pickaxe? Either way, that was just completely random. Okay. Moving on from here, guys. Moving on from here. I'm trying to find where I was at last time. But that was the main reason why I did not do anything for the past 2 weeks in terms of progress, and that one whole week of not uploading or recording anything. It just didn't feel right. My mind, my state, just everything, my state of mind and everything along with it was just not the right place. And I was pretty much, I would say, I don't want to say depressed. I would want to say more distressed. Like, this whole thing stressed me out to the point where I just did not want to make any videos and upload it, because then people may think that everything is fine when, in all honesty, nothing was fine. Nothing was going well, and I just needed to let this all out. So if you ever have been mistreated in a workplace, and if you want to report that, then by all means, first just write down every single incident that has occurred while it's still fresh in your mind, and that, because if you want to actually speak out, you're going to have trouble. You are honestly going to have trouble speaking out if you are not that confident of a person. I am not that confident of a person. When I called the manager, or not the manager, when I called the owner, I was struggling to speak. I was so broken. I was completely struggling to speak. Like, the owner could actually hear it in my voice that I was struggling to actually talk to him of what's been going on. So it's tough. It's honestly tough to stand up for yourself, especially when all your life you never really stood up for yourself. And when that time finally just arrived, it just made it all the more difficult. Because I've been picked on at school. It was really hard for me to deal with that then. I ignored a lot of people, but then it just kept happening, and then until middle school where I broke down right in front of my parents, and when they heard of this, and they pretty much just told the school about it to actually talk to the people who were bugging me and all the other stuff who were harassing me. They talked to them, but since I said something about it, I was pretty much quote unquote a tattletale, and then since then, all my friends who were friends with the people who picked on me deserted me. So at a young age, that really gives a good impression that if you were to speak up for yourself, then nobody would want to hang out with you, and no one would want to support you. It sucks. It really, really sucks. That's what I had to deal with when I was young, and that stuck with me up until this day. And just made it all worse because now it has to deal with my life and how things may turn out for me, because I was afraid if I were to get fired from that job, then if I were to apply for another job, they're going to ask, why did I get fired from the last job? I don't know what to say. I don't know if I were to say something that's going to affect me in a negative manner. So all of that I feared. But now that I've spoken up about it and my parents supported me and all my coworkers supported me, they assured me that nothing is going to go bad if you were to speak up about this. And I finally did. If something finally got done, I'm just relieved that all of this is said and done and over with. And this is, like I said before, I want to make this final video to just completely move on from it, because I know not many people actually watched the Operation Dome episode. I know that for a fact. But if I have something to ask, I would just please ask, if you don't know anything that's been going on, to actually check out the what happened at work video. I almost forgot the title of the video. Just check out what happened at work, and then check out the Operation Dome episode, and then you'll know what has been going on with me throughout the whole week, and everything will fall in place and things will be fine. Because I really want to move on from here, and just speaking about this for the last and final time, it's gonna help me. Because it's been helping me more and more and more, because I'm not gonna lie to you that I still felt a little emotion when I was talking about this right this instant. It just completely devastated me. It's just one of those hard life lessons that I finally get to experience. And I'm glad that I've experienced it this early on in life. Even though I'm 23 years old, I'm still young. I'm still learning about the world. If I was 30 and above and experiencing this, and then people call me out on this, it's gonna be a whole different story. That's what sucks about society. It's better to learn things as you're young, because when you're older, you will have that expectation that you should have known by now. Heck, I should have known by now at this age, but that still doesn't excuse what happened, and it still doesn't make this any less important or any less meaningful. Because I don't want anybody to ever experience something like this. I don't want anybody to be harassed at work. I don't want anybody to be disrespected at work from employees, but in fact, especially from managers. So a lot of people know that managers sometimes go on a power-hungry trip, where just because they are a manager, they think that gives them the right to treat people how they treat them. But that, in reality, is not true. Everybody is human. Even the managers are human. But every once in a while, there has to be a wake-up call. And I brought that wake-up call to that manager. And yes, the manager does have a second job, so I'm not too worried of how the other manager is doing. So I'm just relieved. I'm just humble that I experienced it, and now I know how to deal with it again if it ever happens again. And now I could actually be more supportive to other coworkers if things like that has ever happened to them. And now I could actually tell them, like, some advice to what to do, because I went through that myself. But I'm still happy that I got the support from my family and coworkers, and I will never ever forget that. So it's all good, guys. It's all good. If I ever want to leave the job now, I can. And I don't know, I don't want to say I will never look back on it, but I would say that I learned a lot from working at my first job ever. than I would ever expected. I did not know what I was going in for, but now I know. It's just one of those hard reality checks, guys. It sucks, but it's just one thing that helps you improve. Because if you never experience it, then it's just going to be a little bit more of a reality check once it finally happens. But I never want this to happen to anybody. I would never wish this upon anybody. And there's nothing else I could say. Otherwise, I'm going to repeat everything I just said over and over and over again. So that is all for now, guys. That is all for now. Hopefully the next episode is going to be more cheery and I'll be able to talk more about what's been going on. And as well as that, I'll hope to actually get more work done. So SMO has been helping me out by helping getting rid of the lava. So here he is. Here he is. Whoa, my God, SMO. Okay, so there's SMO. So I don't know how to end this off because I really don't want to. I just don't want to do the whole liking for ask and subscribing. If you want to do that, you can do that. I'm not going to say it for this episode because it just doesn't feel right. And since I'm not saying that, it's just throwing me off the whole outro thing. But if you want to let me know in comments below of what you think about this whole situation after watching all of these 3 videos in the trilogy of some sort, let me know what you guys think. Because I'm always reading the feedback. I read all the feedback from what happened at work, and I'm truly, truly grateful for you guys, or grateful to you guys. I don't know how to English. I'm just grateful that you guys are supporting me in my situation at that given time, and I just hope I don't disappoint you or let you down in the future content I upload or any future things I want to do with this channel, because I have a lot of ideas. I just haven't gone around to doing them. So have a great day, everyone. I'm Sorkin090, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.